Hi YouTubers. This is my first time on YouTube. I'm here because God's compelled me to share a dream that I had. I'm a born again Christian and completely in love with God. Have been talking to God for most of my life. Wasn't baptized until later in my life. But have only read the Bible in the last year. I can't say enough about reading that Bible. If you believe in God, then if you haven't read the Bible, this is his personal message to you. I truly, honestly believe that every Bible, even though they're the same, is written as a personal word to whoever the reader is. So anyway, I've been having dreams message from God for a really long time. Not very often and fairly sporadically, but whatever the message is usually very impactful. But this particular message, God's asked me to share it. I've never been asked to share message before. It's always been a personal or fairly personal message to me to help me in my life, but this message I've been asked to share, so here goes. I've got a few notes here, so I might refer to them as I was asked for a couple of nights to take a notepad to bed with me just to record the dream, because recording the dream from memory can be tricky. So I've got the notes here to refer to, so I apologise if it looks like I'm distracted. So the first scene that I had, I was up above on high looking down, almost like I was flying, or it was placed above the scene, and there was a bunch of people. I couldn't see who the people were. They were on dry, desolate ground, rocky ground, although one person stood out from all the others, and this is the only bit of the message that I was actually given interpretation of. Now that was a giant, and the giant was green and brown, and I was told that the giant was Isis. And this bunch of people, I'd say there'd be about a dozen, I guess. These people, they were on bended knee, and I was told that Isis would bend their knee. So that's the only thing that I was actually told. But from that point in the dream, I was then almost like I was in the earth itself, or in a ravine or crevasse or something, and there was brown dirt either side of me, and that brown dirt, as I was looking at it, it exploded, just came apart, exploding before my very eyes. The whole scene was just the earth, the dirt exploding. And then I saw a scene where a tree had been uprooted, but it wasn't because there was an earthquake or something like that. I felt that the tree was uprooted by God's hand, that the tree itself was like, it was like if you're in the garden pulling weeds and you look at your weed and it's got the roots there with a bit of dirt hanging off the end of it, sort of thing. It was almost, I didn't see God pulling the tree up per se, but I felt like it was pulled like weeds. Yeah, trees will be uprooted is the message I got. And then I was in a car. I don't know whether I was lying down or, it seemed like I was below the height of the window, and I'm looking out the car window, and the window was ajar, and I'm enjoying the breeze. My hair's, flowing across my face, and I'm looking at the beautiful blue, bright sky with gorgeous puffy clouds in the background. And as I cast, my eyes across the sky, I see the sun, and suddenly, in a millisecond, the sun completely went black, just went black. That was, and then immediately after that scene, I saw a landslide, just earth again, rolling, sliding down, and people were running. I saw people running. I saw a swarm. It was like the swarm was above me. Now, when I say swarm, I mean a collection of objects. They were all the same object. They were an oblong rectangular object. It was a peach clay colour. It wasn't revealed to me what these objects are. And they came down in perfect formation, and flew past me and up and away. But they were very symmetrical. Their flying formation pattern was very symmetrical. It was like exact down to the increment that they were, in formation. It wasn't revealed what they were though. And then the next scene I had, I was with somehow. I don't know if I was flying or just present, but I was with a bunch of translucent people who had helmets on, open face helmets, just like a motorbike helmet. They were translucent gold, completely gold. Every part of them was gold, and one looked over to me and smiled in kindness and reverence. With this open face helmet on, these translucent people, they were swimming actually through the air. So, I interpret it as swimming. So, flying, swimming. They were almost doing breaststroke, one and then go for miles, and another breaststroke, and off they go. They were also in formation. There was hundreds of these translucent people. Excuse me. Sorry. Georgie, please no. So after the translucent people with the open face helmets on, gold translucent people, I saw the head of a rearing horse. And this rearing horse was a brown horse with a black mane, dark coloured horse with a black mane. And as the horse's head reared up with the mane in the background, swishing up in the wind like it would, you can imagine, the whole thing then turned into a mountain. So the horse's head became a mountain. But it was almost like I looked back on the horse after it became a mountain and saw on the horse a robe over the horse's neck. The robe had intricate patterns on it. I couldn't see what the patterns were, but the patterns were almost like a Persian rug almost. That's the sort of likeness that it took for me. And it was like there was a person or something standing behind it. I couldn't see the person's face, but there was something on its head, on a person's head, or I don't know if it was even a person. It was just that behind the horse I saw this what looked like a black bottle brush, not to be crude or rude, but like a toilet brush. Or the immediate thing after I went back and thought about the dream was, those hats that the Queen's Guard in England, they wear, those bottle brush looking hats. I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, but that's what I saw. And then it came to my heart that it was like the Queen's Guard, like a royal guard. So there was this horse with the thing over its the rug over its neck, and a royal guard almost standing in the background. I don't know how to interpret that. Somebody else might have a better idea of that. But then the next thing that I saw was I'm above again, looking down, and I saw people carved in clay. Lots of people carved in clay. And as I got closer and I zoomed in on each sort of individual, the people carved in clay became a mountain. I thought that was pretty impressive. Literally, the clay people became a mountain. So after that, my next scene was shocked faces, really shocked faces, this can't be happening. I saw children running, lots of children running. I saw people begging, poor people with no shoes on, dirty people sitting on concrete with a bowl, and the bowl is empty. It was clear that it was portraying poverty. The clothes were dirty and ragged. And then the next scene I saw was puzzling. I don't know if anybody might have interpretation of it, but I saw prehistoric animals. So we were in a crowd, or I was in a crowd, and the crowd was parted like there was a parade. And the first prehistoric animal was a baby, and it was chubby and cute and nothing to be frightened of. It reminded me of, a baby rhinoceros, probably not with the horn, but those chubby, almost fall over, shake themselves apart, chubby rhinoceroses. But it had mandibles on its mouth that closed over its mouth in this way. It was definitely prehistoric. I got the message it was a prehistoric animal. And then two others came after it. I presumed they were adults, but they had longer necks, much longer necks. Not dangerous. And anyway, nobody was frightened. Nobody was running for fear of being trampled or there was no fear involved whatsoever. There was just this parade of 3 prehistoric animals. And then the next scene that I saw was of an eagle, a brown eagle, sitting on stony ground, on dry stony ground, and maybe with a small rise in the ground, nothing too dramatic, not on, certainly not on a mountain, certainly not on the flattest ground you've ever seen. But I got the impression definitely that the eagle was surveying, having a look, just checking things out and, taking in the information. It preened itself on its chest, looked around some more. And then the next scene that I had was of, I don't know if it was that eagle's wing, but a eagle's wing. It took up the whole scene, the whole vision. And the eagle's wing, it was obviously flying. And I don't know whether I was supposed to be beside it or whether it was just, I don't know. Can't tell you where I was. I just saw this wing. And through the wing, as the wing was flying, I could see the separation of the feathers. And through the feathers came the sunlight. And it was bright. Bright sunlight that just peeked through each, separation in the wing. It was glorious. It was a glory. It really was. And that's where the dream ended. I didn't feel upset. I wasn't shocked. I didn't feel distraught. I didn't feel like there was any urgency either. After the dream, I did feel an urgency to share. I've since been told to hurry. Last night in particular, I got the message in a big way that I was to hurry to share the message. I can come up with my own conclusions and my own interpretation, but it's here on YouTube, I think, for someone else, or for someone else's, I don't know, or maybe just my own obedience to God, I don't know, but it was definitely message. And in light of the message being shared at the moment on YouTube about tribulation and rapture, I thought this was prudent in that way. Nevertheless, I was told to share it. Here it is. I hope that it's a blessing to someone. I hope that whoever hears it has a better interpretation than I. Feel free to leave an interpretation, if you will, in the comment section. God bless. God bless. I hope those who haven't found God yet or are teetering on the edge, I hope this helps them to see that life with God isn't boring. You get dreams, you get message, you get love, there's a community with God. Even if you're not in the community, there's a community with God, and that God's alive. He's not dead. Jesus is well alive and talking to me and talking to others, and I hope this is a blessing to you all. That's really it. So have yourself a really cool day. Bye.